Hey, what is up, you guys? It's Dustin, and I am back with another video, and I am in a lot of pain. I just want to let you guys know right off the rip, I wanted to have this video out before now, but a lot of things have happened. I'm in a ton of pain with what's going on with my neck, along with what's going on with what Nick just posted about over on our vlog channel with Uber doxing us. It's just been a really crazy time, but I wanted to get this video out. I hope you guys understand it is a voiceover. I'm going to try to do a regular video in the next day or two, but it really all just depends on how this goes with my neck. But I do think it's important that we talk about this stuff with Kayla Malec and James Charles, so that's what this video is going to be. If you're here for that, stay tuned.
Kayla and James were never close friends. According to her, their relationship was more like a mutual internet acquaintanceship, occasional DMs, a few supportive comments here and there, and that's it.
We definitely were not best friends. We were not that close, but we were acquaintances.
But James repeatedly messaged her during her relationship with Evan not to check in on her, not to build a friendship, but to tell her how hot he thought her boyfriend was.
Immediately when I made me and Evan's relationship public on TikTok, he sent me the video, and then under it, he said, "Girl, who is this?" And I was like, "Oh, this new guy that I met. I think I'm in love. Ha 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 ha." Then a month and a half later, he slides up on another video of me and Evan together. We have not DM'd on TikTok since this. And it's a video of us dancing together at Yosemite. And James sides up and says, "Girl, he's so hot." And I'm just like, haha, yeah, whatever, cool. So at that point, that's like the only time that we would text was about him saying how hot Evan was, which is like, whatever. I didn't care. I didn't think anything of it, whatever.
Kayla says she would brush it off, awkwardly laugh, and move on. But things took a turn when, during a Hawaii vacation with Evan, she discovered James was actively messaging Evan behind her back. These messages, Kayla claims, were flirty, and given the context, incredibly uncomfortable.
On December 17th, I had posted a video of us at Hawaii together, and James, once again, our only DMs is him once again being like, "Oh my God, he's so beautiful." So literally the only DMs we have in the past year is him saying how hot my boyfriend is. Cool, whatever. Just like, what the, like, looking at this shit now, what the fuck? So yeah, like at this point, the only things I've heard is how hot he thinks my boyfriend is. Cool, whatever. Me, Brennan, Emma, and my boyfriend are in Hawaii, and this was the trip that we ended up breaking up, and all of that shit happened. It's about the third night that we're there, and I don't know if I'm allowed to include this. I'm going to anyways, but we're all sitting on the balcony of our Airbnb talking, and Evan starts saying that James is DMing him on Instagram. And immediately I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you DMing James? Like, immediately I'm just like, fuck no. Like, you're not going to do that. That's weird in my opinion. And at this point, our relationship was basically already over. And even Brennan was like, and Emma were like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you DMing him on Instagram? So we look over at the phone, and Evan sends James a picture on Instagram. So like, you know how you snap on Snapchat, like doing that on Instagram, like sending pictures back and forth. And Evan is like, you should go to Hawaii with us. And James sends back this.
Like out of it. Well, what do you mean? Don't let her take a photo.
I did. Saying like, why should I come to Hawaii? And that, for the first time, is when I was like, what the fuck? And I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure they continued to text throughout the night. It was just so fucking weird. Because mind you, at this point, me and James don't text. Like, me and James aren't even texting like that. James is only texting me to say how hot he is. And now he's sending him snaps over Instagram saying, why should I come to Hawaii? That's fucking weird. I would only do that if I'm like, trying to fuck.
2 weeks later, Kayla broke up with Evan due to what she describes as escalating emotional and physical abuse. The very next day, James allegedly reached out to ask if she and Evan wanted to appear in a Valentine's Day ad campaign for his makeup brand. When she told him they had broken up, his response was, "Can I have him now?" Followed by, "Just kidding, what happened?" When Kayla confided that Evan had been abusive, she says James seemed surprised, but his behavior after that doesn't line up with someone who was shocked or sympathetic. Instead, she claims James flew Evan out to spend time with him, despite knowing about the abuse, and allegedly shared private messages with Evan where Kayla was expressing concerns and planning to speak out. This wasn't just passive ignorance. If what Kayla is saying is true, this was intentional enabling and strategic betrayal.
So me and Evan have our final call, and this is when Evan says to me, if you tell people what I did to you, that means you never loved me. That's when he said all of that on the phone. It was our last ever conversation. But in the beginning of that phone call, while we're talking, he brings up me making a 30-part series. And I immediately am like, how the fuck do you know that? And he quote said a 30-part series. The only fucking person that I texted about making a 30-part series was James. James was the only person I told about making a quote 30-part series. Once again, I don't know how true this is. He was abusive. He was like literally, like we all know by now. But Evan told me that James had sent him screenshots of our messages warning Evan that I was going to make a 30-part series. Once again, don't know how true that is, but it makes fucking sense because on the phone, Evan literally said, so are you going to make that 30-part series about me? And in the text messages, once again, in the messages, I quite literally quote, tune in for the 30-part Who the Fuck Did I Marry series. Like, the fuck? So, allegedly, apparently, from what I was told, is that right after sending those text messages telling James that we broke up, James went and DM'd him on Instagram, sent him those text messages to warn him, and then they started to create a friendship. Also, I do think it is fishy to create such a friendship with somebody off of being attracted to them. Because I don't know what the fuck they would have in common besides the fact that James thought he was hot. And then to fly him out, I don't know. I don't know if I could think a guy was really hot, fly him out, and just like want a friendship.
This story might sound unbelievable if it came out of nowhere, but it doesn't, and that's what makes it so alarming. James Charles has been accused multiple times over the years of using his platform, influence, and connections to manipulate people emotionally, professionally, and even sexually. Let's look back. In 2019, during the now infamous fallout with Tati Westbrook, James was accused of using his fame and power to pressure straight men into uncomfortable situations.
Oh my God, you tried to trick a straight man into thinking he's gay yet again, and somehow you're the victim. You know, it's really disgusting to manipulate someone's sexuality, especially when they are still, emerging into adulthood and don't quite have everything figured out. You are using your fame, your power, your money to play with people's emotions. You're threatening to ruin them. You're threatening to embarrass them. And you're doing that to have them behave sexually in your favor, even if they're straight. And you know what? That's not okay.
While James denied the more serious claims, even his own close friends admitted there was a consistent pattern of inappropriate behavior and deflection. The internet might have treated it like messy drama at the time, but for many, it was a wake-up call about how James operated behind the scenes.
My For You page and Explore page are not dating apps, and I will stop treating them as if they are. I also have already started asking for proper identification from every single guy that has either reached out or that I was speaking to, and will continue doing so for the rest of time. I now understand the root of the problem. I understand how and why I, and only I, caused myself to get into this situation. I understand that this could have and should have been easily avoided, and I also understand that I need to be aware of my platform at all times. I didn't understand how a situation like this could affect the people involved, but now I do. And for that, to the victims, I am so sorry.
Then in 2021, things escalated. Multiple underage boys came forward with allegations that James had exchanged inappropriate messages with them. James admitted to at least 2 of these incidents, claiming the boys had lied about their age, but what stood out most wasn't just what he did, it was how he responded. His apologies were calculated, his explanations focused on protecting his brand, and the narrative he kept pushing was that he was the one being manipulated. Sound familiar? Now in 2025, we're seeing the same deflection. In his recent response to Kayla's videos, James claimed he had no idea about the abuse, a claim that directly contradicts Kayla's timeline and evidence. And rather than express remorse, he focused on defending his image, saying he didn't owe anyone an explanation about who he chooses to associate with. That's not accountability, that's damage control. Here's the bottom line. Kayla Malec did everything a survivor is supposed to do. She got out, she spoke up, she brought her abuser to justice. But when someone like James James Charles, someone with tens of millions of followers, allegedly undermines that process by siding with the abuser and leaking her private information, it sends a clear message. Your safety doesn't matter if it makes me uncomfortable. Your story doesn't matter if it complicates my image. And that's exactly why this matters. Because this isn't just about James and Kayla. It's about a pattern we keep seeing in influencer culture where power protects power and survivors are expected to suffer silently so someone else's brand can stay clean. Kayla didn't post her videos for views. She posted them because she felt betrayed, unheard, and pushed aside. And even now, she's not asking for James to be canceled. She's asking for accountability. This situation with Kayla Malec and Evan Johnson isn't a one-off. It's not even close. It fits into a deeply troubling pattern that James Charles has demonstrated time and time again. A pattern of manipulation, gaslighting, and calculated PR maneuvers to maintain control over his image, no matter the cost to others. There's another pattern here too, the performative accountability. James has a history of apologizing only when the damage is done, and even then, his apologies are riddled with self-preservation. In the Evan and Kayla situation, he waited until people already sided with Kayla before addressing it, and then, just like clockwork, he uploaded a soft-spoken video where he seemed calm, composed, and hurt. But that emotional vulnerability, it came too late. It came only after being called out. This is reminiscent of what happened after the underage sexting scandals, the teary-eyed apology, the disappearing videos, the months of silence, followed by a quiet return to YouTube as if nothing happened. No real accountability, just a reset, a PR rebrand, a fresh palette of pastels, and an algorithm-friendly thumbnail. James doesn't change. He waits, he hides, then he reappears, banking on short attention spans and forgiving audiences. That's what makes this situation so frustrating for creators, fans, and survivors alike. Because how many times does someone need to show you who they are before you believe them? And this latest situation with Kayla isn't separate from the rest. It's part of the pattern. The same tools: manipulation, PR spin, leveraging platform power against individuals with smaller followings are being used again. And unless this pattern is called out explicitly, unless people stop giving James the benefit of the doubt, it will happen again. Because for James, this isn't about learning, it's about image management. James Charles is not just someone who makes mistakes. He is someone who repeats abusive patterns, manipulates narratives, and weaponizes sympathy to protect his own interests. And when the people he harms push back, he doesn't seek reconciliation, he seeks silence. That's why this situation isn't petty drama. It's a continuation of something much more dangerous, a long-standing pattern of grooming, gaslighting, and exploitation. And every time we let him slide because his eyes are watery or his editing is clean or his fans are loyal, we send a message to creators everywhere that this kind of behavior works, that you can manipulate your way out of anything as long as you're good enough at playing the victim.
And there you have it, guys. I believe that this is a continued pattern with James Charles. I don't think that he's ever going to stop. I think that Kayla was very brave to come out against him. She did say that she's going to make another video or address this in another way. We'll have to see what happens, what comes of that. But I just feel like it's the same old with James Charles. I've been saying this stuff for years. I probably sound like a broken record, but like, this is what we've come to expect from him. This is who he is as a person. And when somebody shows you who they are, you have to believe them. But with that said, you guys, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it. And if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. This is not my normal content. I usually step my pussy up a little bit more, but I'm just in a lot of pain today. But if you made it this far in the video, leave me the trash can emoji down below. You already know why. And with that said, I hope you guys all have an amazing day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.